So where are we going today?
We're going to Stonington, which is like an hour and a half away.
This is one of our favorites from like
way
back in the day.
But we've heard that the town's changed a lot and that there's like a lot of new like little restaurants and shops and stuff. So we're gonna go check it out. It was very weird this morning. Like there was fog, but if you looked straight up, you could see blue sky. It was very weird. I don't think I've ever seen it like that.
Like half hour later, it was gone entirely. So.
Yeah, it was really weird, and it was like pretty thick fog. Like looking out, we could only see like the next couple boats next to us. But I don't know. It's gone now. Yeah, be a lot of lobster pots today. This area is chock-a-block full.
Let's get going. I think you got them.
I definitely do not have them. There's no way I'm gonna beat a J35. It's just not happening.
They sound like excuses.
Although they can't just like plow through the lobster buoys like I can. They'll snag their rudder and their keel. Whereas I'm just like, meh. Although there's not a ton of wind and we're gonna have to turn more downwind in a minute, and so I think we're probably gonna lose all of our.
We did end up losing the race, but it was still a really nice sail.
Turn the engine on. We were doing less than 2 knots. And there's supposed to be thunderstorms this afternoon. So the engine's on. So a storm just popped up like right in front of us, and we can actually see it on radar, which is kind of cool. But I got radar to finally load on like the app, and it looks like it's a pretty decent amount of rain that's coming. So I'm gonna go down below, store some things, get Andy some fowlies, and then we're only like 10 minutes from our anchorage, which is kind of annoying. So hopefully it's quick, or hopefully it's, I don't know, not too bad. I think our luck finally ran out on the whole like getting the anchor down or picking up a mooring about 3 seconds before rain starts or a storm comes, because it's raining pretty hard out there right now and we've still got a couple minutes before we'll be anchors down. So I'm down below just staying dry. Andy is in the cockpit, and I'm gonna pop up in just a minute to help him anchor, and then we hopefully will just wait out the rest of the storm before going into Stonington. So right after I finished recording that I was about to go up and help Andy anchor, I slammed my shoulder into the companionway hatch. Andy had pulled it out just a hair to get the iPad out of the rain, and I thought I had enough clearance, and I missed by, I don't know, maybe an inch, and I hit like right here really hard. It's very sore. I don't think it's anything more than just bruised, but made my eyes water. We got the anchor down. Andy managed to anchor by himself. Then we were proceeded to be really waked like 4 times in a row by lobster boats, because we realized that the anchors we had picked out. Active Captain had basically said that there was a lot of wakes, but our tolerance is usually a little bit on the high side. They were not kidding. So the Green Island anchorage near Stonington, not a great place to hang out. So we pulled up the anchor and decided to search for a different place. Fog rolled back in, like really thick fog. And we were trying to find a spot that we weren't going to get waked the whole time, and we were just really, really struggling. So we decided to come down to Billings and see if they had a spot open for the night, and they did. So we are at a dock for the first time in like 5 weeks. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. It's a good thing. We needed some Wi-Fi. If you don't know, Andy still does some engineering consulting, and we have not had good Wi-Fi for almost 2 weeks. So it was fine because he didn't have a lot to do last week, but this week it's been a lot more challenging. So he is gonna do some work for the next 2 days here since we have Wi-Fi, and I am gonna do some editing. Yeah, we're going to take the bikes out at some point, but for right now, we're just kind of relaxing. There's some pretty hefty thunderstorms rolling through right now. We are going to take the bikes for a ride this morning into Stonington and get some lunch and just check out what's changed in town since we've been here last.
This is the setup I'm trying to make with our dinghy.
Worked really well.
They got like a float over here and a pulley, and they got a stick, and they can pull the dinghy out with the rope and then pull it back in. It works really well.
Andy just found our new dinghy.
It's a little big.
But it's amphibious.
I'm not pulling a dinghy up on the sand like peasants.
Just drive it up.
Proud wheels.
Stonington is Maine's largest lobster port, and in 2020, Stonington lobster fishermen pulled in 11.9 million pounds of lobster valued at around $43 million. This one small town of about 1,000 people regularly produces around 15% of the entire state's lobster harvest.
It has been about 5 weeks since we've been at a dock, and we have gotten very little rain here since we've been up here. There's really only been 1 day of rain, and it poured and was like 50 degrees, so we did not take advantage of that rain to clean. So today we actually have fresh water to clean, so we are going to scrub. We've already scrubbed the deck, but the cockpit is an absolute disaster. This is basically where we like live 90% of the time, and we shower up here. The dog spends most of his time up here. In general, it's just probably the grossest spot on the boat, especially underneath the grate. So we're just gonna pull up the cockpit grate, the tiles. We're gonna rinse all of those off, give them a scrub out on the dock, and then we are going to give the actual down here a scrub as well. And we're also just taking care of the seats and stuff as well, because that was pretty nasty. Stand up forward so the scuppers will drain.
next up is the dinghy.
So I've had a string of like bad luck, weird, like accidental, I don't know, I've been a little accident prone recently. And so yesterday, after we finished cleaning up the cockpit, we got the boats back on board, and my bike, which goes on the stern, was tangled in the rope that holds the Dodger on, essentially. So I reached across to untangle it while Andy was holding the bike, and he made eye contact with me. I knew he'd seen me, but he like dropped the bike on my finger. And it's not good. I can't make a fist, and it's like the same size as my ring finger, almost the same size as my middle finger right now. So like I would never have stuck my hand near the bike if Andy hadn't seen me. So and the other day, like I knew that the hatch was closed, so like I was like trying to sneak around it, which I think is how I ended up hitting like just on the edge of my shoulder. My shoulder is feeling a lot better though. It's just a little bit of a bruise, but this is gonna be problematic. I don't know. It's my right hand too, so yeah. Last year I broken a toe. I've just busted my elbow. That's still not 100% right. Popped my shoulder yesterday or 2 days ago, and then now this bad boy. I'm hoping it's just a sprain in a couple days and the splint will just like separate it. I'm gonna tape these two up together this morning. When I slept, it was fine to not have it like that, but I'm hoping just splinting it for a couple days will help.
My injury didn't slow us down too much, so we left Stonington and headed for Castine in hopes of sneaking in a few good days of exploring before we started to see the impact of hurricane season on the Maine coast. We'll see you next week.